So what are the appropriate limits? May be a wrong word because we're not talking legislation here, but what are the appropriate forms, let's say, of political free speech? Matthew Briette is with us. He is the president and CEO of the Commonwealth Foundation for Public Policy Alternatives, commonwealthfoundation.org, a conservative think tank that's spun out of a Heritage Foundation meeting. And Matthew, welcome to the program.
Hi, Tom. Good to be with you.
You guys have a fundraiser, and well, thank you for joining us. You guys have a fundraiser coming up. You're charging $65, and for that, people get breakfast, lunch, beer, and the right to do what?
Well, we have sporting clays, archery. It's a sportsman's association, of course, a good family recreational fun. Mm-hmm. And then we're also going to have an abandoned car, and we're going to be posting lots of economically killing ideas that are killing our country. And from bailouts, corporate welfare, patronage, government-run health care, and people are going to be able to pay to take shots at it. So it should be a fun day.
You guys ever heard of the Darwin Awards?
Oh, yes, of course.
Are you familiar with the word ricochet?
Oh, sure. You know, those are always dangers when you've got heavy weaponry, of course.
And you're shooting heavy weaponry at metal. I mean, this seems to me, I shoot for sport, okay. Right? My brother and his they're not married, but his girlfriend, I guess, but it's been so long that you think of them as married. They're both like major. They own a whole bunch of handguns, and Louise and I go visit them. In fact, we got some pictures on our website of Louise, in the two-arm stance. And I would not, in my wildest dreams, think about shooting at something that might bounce that bullet back at me or fling it off in a direction of a crowd.
Oh, this is very safe. We've made sure that this is safely done. And also, I don't think we have to worry about some of the cannon fire. That will just go right through these things.
All right. Yeah, well, I suppose it depends on what you're shooting. But if somebody's shooting something light or somebody's .22, I mean, the ricochet is fairly common. But the other concern I have, and this is really the one that concerns me the most, is that a country which has seen a number of its presidents die by assassination, that has its current president receiving 4 times the number of death threats of the previous president, who himself was not all that popular, and in which political assassination and the murder of people based on their race, and we have an African American president. I guess it doesn't even need to be said, but it pointed out that speaking out against the policies of that president by shooting at them seems to me at the best tasteless, and at the worst perhaps inciting violence.
Well, it's funny because I know that the left-wing blogs are alive with that kind of commentary that this is somehow encouraging violent sociopaths to go on the rampage. But this is really the nanny state mentality, of course, that we are fighting against, because all of the ideas that we've laid out there certainly were part of the Bush administration, from the bailouts and corporate welfare and other failed policy ideas. They really know no party. So we're taking shots at all of them. But to suggest that simply because you're shooting these down, and by the way, Commonwealth Foundation is shooting down bad ideas all the time intellectually. This is just where we bring our guns out and have some fun, and a fundraiser for our supporters. But to suggest that this somehow is going to encourage someone to take shots at
I would think in the wake of Tim McVeigh and
in the wake.
These...
Oh, come on! You had all the leftists out there burning the effigy of President Bush.
No, we didn't have all the leftists out there burning Bush and effigy.
Sure, you did. We're not, and we're doing ideas. We are not.
Can you name one group that burned
Obama
in effigy and did it as a fundraiser for their group, please?
That burned Obama?
Excuse me, Bush.
Oh, I'm suggesting.
Can you name one group?
No, I can't name a group.
Okay, but your group is being. What is Obama's name going to be on this card? Just the policies of his that you disagree with.
We're going to be talking about bailouts. We're talking about corporate.
You're going to be talking
welfare.
about health care.
Yes, government-run health care, cap and trade, card check.
Are you doing this in a public park?
Oh, no, we're doing a private club where all of this is under control, safely confined.
Are you going to make sure that everybody who gets there without traveling on public roads?
Ones that we pay for?
Yeah.
All of those? Yeah. Right. We'll fly in our black helicopters, Tom.
This is what I don't get. You say that this is the anti-freedom agenda, that you are protesting.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's talk about that for a minute.
Sure.
How can somebody be free if they are hungry?
How can they be free if they are hungry?
How can somebody be free if they have cancer and they can't get it cured?
Well, a lot of the freedoms that we enjoy is part of the personal responsibility and also taking care of our fellow man through voluntary means. In fact, that has been far more effective.
So they're free to beg for help from others.
Well, the wealth redistribution plans that you support, Tom, they have failed. They haven't solved
They
poverty.
actually have succeeded very well. If you look at the European countries, they have a fraction of the unemployment that we have. They are not going through the crisis that we are.
They have double the unemployment. They are coming here for their health care.
I'm sorry. Germany's unemployment rate right now is 5.3%. I was there 3 weeks ago. They are not experiencing the crisis that we are experiencing because 50% of all the members of every board of director of every German corporation has to come from the workers. And you would call that the nanny state. I mean, that is a federal law, but the effect of it is that companies in bad times don't lay off people, so in good times they still have their workforce.
So you're saying that the coercive state is somehow working better than people who live freely, who voluntarily exchange. Throughout
I'm saying I would much rather live in a
failed.
coercive state like the United States than I would live in a libertarian paradise like Somalia. Yes, in Somalia they don't force corporations to do anything.
That is precisely the kind of coercive state that exists where you empower
Somalia is a libertarian
paradise.
All they do is provide police. That's it.
Oh, far from it. Certainly, without the rule of law and private property rights, no, that is far from a libertarian paradise. And we're certainly not that here in America by any stretch of the imagination. We're certainly moving more and more towards fascism and socialism and all of those collectivist ideas that have failed throughout history.
Matthew Briat is with us. He is the president and CEO of the Commonwealth Foundation. CommonwealthFoundation.org is their website. How can you say that these so-called socialist policies like national health care have failed when every industrialized country in the world except the United States has them, and they all have better health outcomes at a lower cost than the United States, and none of them have weasels like Stephen J. Hemsley making $744 million for 5 years of work as CEO of United Healthcare?
Well, I would ask you the same question. Why does anybody that has wealth, that has a serious medical condition, why do they come to America?
They don't.
They sure do.
They
sure do. Absolutely.
There is no data to back that up. In fact, the actual data, and it's well researched and published, is that more people leave the United States for health care because there is a whole medical tourism industry of people going to India and Thailand and Costa Rica right now for medical services because they're cheaper there. There are more people leaving the United States for health care than there are coming into the United States for health care.
I'd love to see that data, Tom, because these are the types of things, the battles that we deal with all of the time at the public policy level, and
Matthew,
I don't see that data.
I will post it on my website at ThomHartmann.com. It's there is no you have health insurance companies right now that are telling people that if they want a hip replacement surgery and they go to Thailand or India to get it done, that they'll pay for the travel and the hotel because in aggregate it's cheaper than having it done here in the United States. Because our system is so badly broken.
It is where you can escape the government over-regulation of our healthcare industry, not where you have a government taking it over. That's not going to make it.
The health insurance companies are sending people to Costa Rica, which has a national health insurance plan and a longer lifespan than the United States.
Well, Tom, I think that we're probably going to agree to disagree, but I think that your data is all wrong.
Okay, Matthew Briat, shoot at a car to protest. CommonwealthFoundation.org. Thank you, Matthew.
Hey, thank you.